You're listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Hi, I'm Mitch.
And I'm Davey.
And we are
the Bargain Bin Gamers.
He is on one today.
I don't know. And I had a really good sleep last night. Thank you, Valium.
I can tell. So,
No.
And this is the podcast YouTube channel where we put the gay in gaming.
And we also look after that cozy little hip pocket of yours.
Thought I threw you off a little bit there. Yeah.
You'll never throw me off anyone's hip pocket because our listeners and viewers have the tightest and most well looked after hip pockets.
The tightest?
My. We are the Bargain Bin Gamers after all, right? So
we're to keep it cheap around here.
We're here to keep it cheap. We're here to keep those purse strings pulled nice and taut.
Fucking hell.
Before we begin, we would like to give a big shout out to this show's associate producers,
Sam Johnson and Mei M.
Hello, Sam and May. We love having you on the show. And remember, if you would like to help keep this and other BQN network podcasts coming to you every single week, sign up to be a patron over at patreon.com/BQN.
You can do that for as little as $2 to $5 a month, and you get access to early episode releases, including Bargain Bin Gamer Let's Play videos, the Patreon-only podcasts like Davey's Warp Speed Reviews, and Amy's Math Moments.
Amy's Math Moments. They're moments that are born in math.
Are they mathing?
She's actually very good. She does some really, really cool stuff. It's usually based on Star Trek.
Well, that's why you like it.
That is why I like it. You'll probably get to meet Amy. She's coming over for my wedding.
Oh my God. I'm going to get drunk as a skunk with her.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be a mess.
Yeah, that'll probably happen.
Oh God, I'm getting drunk with everyone. Your mum is not safe. Shout out, Kaz.
Oh dear. Well, here we are on another Sunday.
Glorious.
What's been happening in your life, doll? Let the listeners in.
It's the same as every other week. Working my ass to the bone.
Working your ass to the bone.
Yes. My birthday's coming up in 2 weeks though. So I've been planning that, which has been very exciting. And when I say planning, I mean I haven't done anything for it. I really need to book it.
Excellent. I'm very happy to hear that.
What about you, dear? What's been going on?
I finished my 100% run of Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh, how was that?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, when I say I did 100% right, like there was... I got an ending because there are different endings you can get, and I got 100% of the playthrough that I did, right? Because, spoiler alert for a 5-year-old game, there are multiple endings, and when the game ends, a lot of the characters who you interacted with all start leaving you kind of voicemails in terms of like what happened based on your decisions, and obviously there's lots of different things you can do. The good thing is that like I can go straight back to my save before I took the path that led to my ending. And I can try other things again because the Phantom Liberty DLC introduced a different ending.
Love.
So I actually kind of want to explore what that is. So I wouldn't mind still seeing, because I still really enjoy playing that game.
I really need to pick it back up.
Yeah. But like all the like little side quests and gigs and all that kind of stuff, I did them all. Like there's no, the only icons left on the map are the stuff that you can just do over and over again, like
the repeatable quests,
like car races and random events, like where you've got to jack a car and take it back and get a reward for it and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
But I was almost a little sad. I was almost like, I miss there being like lots of stuff to do in this city.
You have to start again. You got to do it again.
Yeah, I guess I could.
Would you pick like a different through? Because what storyline did you start with?
I was Corpo.
Corpo.
Yeah, I thought that kind of suited me.
Not on the nose or anything?
I was Lady V. I was Lady V. I loved Lady V.
See, when I did, what's the Edge Runner? What are they? Or am I mixing that up with Blade
Runner?
Netrunner, yeah.
Yeah.
So not the one where you're outside in the dirt, and not the Corpo one, the other one. And I was a hot V with a big dick. Loved it.
Hot V with a big dick. Well, no, you can do that. You can create their genitals.
Yeah, you can make it big.
I know. Anthony was like sitting next to me. He's like, what is this disgusting smut that you're playing?
You are so good at being Anthony, by the way. It's so funny.
We spend all day, every day with a man.
Shout out to you, wifey.
Shout out to my fiance. Love you, baby. Love you, baby cakes. Is out of the house right now. He's pissed off that we now record in the lounge room. Love you.
Love ya.
So yeah, look, that was really, really good. I've jumped back into Mario Kart a little bit, trying to get my 3-star wins on all the 150cc Grand Prix.
Good reminder, by the way, not to segue our way in. That's what I'm actually waiting for. For my birthday, I'm getting a Switch 2, so I'm saving up for that because Pokemon's coming out soon. So that's what I've been doing. Continue with Mario Kart.
No. Yeah, I've just been doing that. And I'm trying to make an effort to, and I've said this before, but like make sure that now that I've got the Switch 2 and I can sit there on the couch and play like I could with the original Switch, trying to finish some of these, games that I've purchased. So I've also been using the fact that I've now got Star Wars Outlaws on the Switch 2, which, as I mentioned a few weeks ago, is so impressive. So impressive how good this game operates on the Switch 2. So I've been completing the DLCs and picking that back up and doing all the syndicate missions and intelligence missions and just having a little bit of fun in that open world again. Love
Cal Castor, that's his name, isn't it?
No, what's the name of your character in that game?
Am I mixing it up with the one with the redhead Jedi?
No, because you're a woman in Outlaws.
See, I ain't got the finger on the pulse.
K-Vess.
K-Vess.
Yes, K-Vess.
Shout out K-Vess.
Love your work, K. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. You haven't been doing any gaming?
I've been playing Marvel Rivals, which you have not been joining me with, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, we won't get into that again. We don't want to be too repetitive for the listeners.
No, I've been doing that. I'm also about to mod my own version of Pokemon Platinum to make it harder. So I'm going to play through that again because I love Pokemon Platinum. So
nice.
Classic Mitch playing Pokemon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have been playing the same thing at the moment. So we're going to do a little something exciting for this week's episode. It's time for a Bargain Bin Gamer
Game Review.
Pew, 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 pew.
I'm never going to get over these buttons.
I am.
So today we're diving into a game that's equal parts bizarre, heartfelt, and unsettling. We covered this game earlier in the year whilst it was still in development. I interviewed developer Enzy after playing the demo for this game. It now has had a full release on itch and Steam, and Mitch and I have been playing Gas Station Story, a new Game Boy Color title. A surreal slice of life, as Enzy the developer describes it, set in a desert dystopia where your job is to ring up customers and navigate a mysterious computer virus and maybe, just maybe, fall in love with your coworker.
Yeah, I was trying really hard for that. That's right. You play as Clerck, team lead at 815 location number. And why did you give me all these numbers? 974-33213, a lonely little station on the outskirts of Divinity City. It's a place full of strange inhabitants, stranger updates, and even stranger choices. One night, your system gets hit with something called the update virus. And from there, things spiral.
You'll make decisions that shape your relationship with Sam, your coworker, and with the customers who wander in. Be kind, be rude, or be weird. It all matters. And yes, the game's visuals, they are built with a Game Boy camera. If anyone remembers the Game Boy camera from the 90s, it's lo-fi, it's gritty, and it fits the mood perfectly.
So if you've never... hang on. Start again, sorry. So if you've ever wanted to explore the emotional toll of retail work in a glitchy dystopia, while maybe catching feelings and alienating customers, this is the one for you. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Fucking buckle up, mate.
So, and I'd played the demo before this, so obviously I was so excited to play the full release, and I was very excited for you to jump in and try it out as well, because I think I interviewed Enzy when you were off sick.
Yes.
But yeah, what initial impressions?
Initial impressions, not going to lie, probably one of the best games we've ever played on this channel. I loved it.
Really?
The thing is that it hits, I don't know how to say it in like a non-loser way, but it hits that nostalgia for me from when I used to play my Game Boy Color. So it was just very charming. It was well written. It had a very interesting story that was I didn't really know where it was going half the time, but I was along for the ride. I really, really fell in love with Sam. I really love Sam. Like I want everything good for her.
Sam the coworker.
Sam the coworker, yeah. I don't know. I just really thought it was fantastic. What about you?
Yeah, it is, charming is definitely the word. And it, again, as a child who came of age in the 90s and played Game Boy Color and all that kind of stuff, I was like, oh, there's something so timeless about this style of game and gameplay. It reminded me of the fact that the Game Boy, for an overpowered, little 8-bitty system, barely 8-bit system, it the scope of some of the games on there and what they tried to achieve really rivaled like what was going on some of the bigger systems at the time.
Well, a lot of those games, they really push the space in those cartridges to the max. Like every bit was being used on some of those games.
Yeah. But NZ said before the game came out, when I interviewed them after playing the demo, there's like, well, this was kind of the Game Boy game I always wanted. I wanted this big epic story that just happens to be full of queer space frogs.
Yes. They're very charming, by the way.
Yeah. So again, I think this as a Game Boy game, I think works really, really well too. So you can download it on itch as a ROM file and play it on an emulator if you want, or you can go and download it on Steam and just get a Steam executable and blah blah blah.
I honestly would buy it if they made a cartridge. I think I'd buy a physical copy if they made it. I wouldn't have anything to play it on, but it'd be a cute collectible.
Oh, I can't remember if NZ said they were actually doing that. I would not, but they were. Anyway, I don't want to touch too much on if you want to hear the interview I did with NZ earlier in the year, I'll pop a link to that, or you can find it in your podcast list or on the YouTube channel. Some really, really cool insights about what went into this. So let's talk a little bit about the gameplay, right? How would you describe the gameplay?
It is, how do you describe it? It is shop clerk simulator, life relationship management visual novel.
Yeah, but there's
but there's game aspects of it as well.
There are definitely game aspects of it. So let's set the scene in terms of what happens, right? So, you are as the clerk,
binary clerk,
as the non-binary clerk, who is the Game Boy Color photos that are used for the clerk is NZ's partner.
Oh.
Yeah. Pretty sure that's what NZ said. And so you start off, you've got this mundane retail job, which a lot of people can relate to. I mean, even I can relate to that because I, in my early years, had a mundane retail job. And, it's just day after day, customers come to this, customers do that. You complain about your boss, you stack shelves, you go out the back for a smoke break because it's the only thing that gets you off the shop floor, which is exactly what I used to do when I worked in retail. I smoked.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I smoked back then. And mainly, I think, so I could take a break.
Yeah,
right?
fair. That does make sense.
I know.
I accidentally played the game on hard mode for a little bit of the time because I didn't read how to use the Q Boy. So I didn't know how to add 10 bits of everything. So I was suffering as a clerk, tapping it every single time.
Yes. Okay. So context there is there is a cash register in the gas station that you work at.
Q Boy.
It is called a Q Boy, which looks strangely like a Game Boy. From the brand Pantendo, by the way.
Very good.
Which was very, very cute.
Very good.
And so you play the game in days. There's different days that are played and things change as the game progresses. And so in each day, you will serve customers, you will restock shelves, you will mop up floors when people steal beer, you will you'll screw up cash transactions, you'll get angry customers, you'll get happy customers.
You'll rat people out to the police.
Yeah. But at the end of day one, and we won't go into any spoiler territory, we'll just kind of set it up. At the end of the day one, as you're leaving, you shut down Q Boy, and then all of a sudden Q Boy boots back up again and applies an update.
Would you like to do an update? Q Boy says.
Yeah, exactly.
And what did you say, Davey?
Well, I had no choice. I had to update. So, you run the update on Q Boy, and then things sort of start to escalate from there, right? So you come back in the next day. Q Boy is running a little odd. The graphical interface looks a little bit different.
They note that it's much quicker as well. They're like, oh, it's so much more efficient.
Yeah, but then it sort of slows down as well, and all kinds of weird stuff kind of happening. And then this is where the gameplay starts kind of varying up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you'll go to ring up a customer's transaction, and then all of a sudden Q Boy makes you play a game.
And it's like, dude, come on.
What did you think of the little... So Q Boy will make you play little mini games, and it's kind of like, I realized the more I went on, it's actually the same game, and it's just progressing and progressing. It's like a little adventure game with turn-based battles. How did you find that?
It was cute. It was giving me Pokemon vibes. I loved it. I thought it was really cute. It was very how do I word this? It was very it knew what it was, because it was I'm a Game Boy game. Here's a little cute Game Boy game. It was very meta in that way.
Yeah.
Did you get through them pretty easily?
Not at the start.
Yeah, I found them kind of tough.
At the start, I was like, what the is going on?
I felt like Kitsune Tales again. I was like, oh, I suck at gaming.
But when you think about it, it kind of makes sense because you as the clerk have got no idea what's going on. You're like, oh, all right, I just need to, oh God, what have I got to do? I've got this customer here who wants
to ring this frog guy up.
Yeah, he wants 300 bits on pump number 2 and some beer.
Pressing a bit every single time because I didn't know how to do tens.
I know. But it kind of made sense. But the thing is, I started getting better at those little games every time they cropped up because I realized I learned how to play the game, which is what happens when you. So,
oh my God, that's how you play a game.
Yeah, so that was kind of really, really cool. But then you move on throughout the days and then things start to escalate. You see, you drive to work, you see a building explode and people come into the shop with stories of like, oh, this happened at this, went to this theme park and there's these particular robots or androids there and apparently they all got some weird update and started going crazy and people talk about things happening in factories they work at where the robots that work there are all going crazy. An android even comes into the shop at one point.
Like a vague uprising in the background somewhere.
Yeah. I liked this increase in tension.
I thought it was a really interesting way to tell a story because we're not seeing the world really. Obviously, we can see it in the background when we drive. We're learning about it from characters. So it was like an interesting way to learn about the story of the game.
Yeah, and it's paced really nicely too. That's what I like too. Like, and I found I really like imprinted with the clerk. Like
Me and the clerk, we were this.
I know. I think part of that comes down. So whenever you see characters talking to each other, it's a Game Boy Color image, and Enzi took so many photos of their partner and friends.
Yeah, they're so expressive.
Yeah, exactly. But like, it's so bizarre to think that it's like a Game Boy camera.
You said it before, but you are right. It actually adds to kind of the gritty feel as well. Like, because the game itself is fairly gritty. It's in like kind of like a dystopia. It's kind of vaguely post-apocalyptic. People want to get off the planet and whatever. So it adds just to that kind of like grunge, I would call it. It's very cool.
Yeah.
It sets the mood.
And for a game that's essentially set in 2 different locations, I mean, you're either at the gas station or you're at home.
Yeah.
Like it's incredibly engaging, incredible. But what's so funny is even though the uprising is happening, you're still like oh, you still have customers complaining about fucking bullshit.
It's so funny. It's very retail. Like the world's falling apart, but people are like, I'm complaining about this thing.
Yeah. And I think that was what was again. The characters' reactions are kind of feel right. Like it's a little farcical in a sense, right? Like very...
It's very heightened reality.
Yeah. I think Enzi did say they started making the game during COVID lockdowns and all that kind of stuff.
I can smell that on the game.
Yeah. So there is that to it. But I also just love how lovely the clerk is too. Like the clerk's just always... I mean, I think I was playing a slightly nicer version of the clerk where it's just like, oh yeah, you spilled the beer, I mopped it up, go grab yourself another one. No worries, mate. No worries.
I've worked in retail, so I just imprinted myself onto the clerk and I was just nice to everyone. I was never rude to anyone. I didn't even rat the guy out. I was really nice.
Yeah, what guy?
There was a guy that came in and he was like, oh, like, don't tell the cops I'm here. And then a cop came in and I didn't rat him out.
Did you sell the kids cigarettes?
No, I'm a good girl.
Yeah, I didn't.
I did.
I didn't sell the kids cigarettes either. No.
Naughty.
And then there's also some foreshadowing that goes on as well because there's the priest that comes in with the eyeballs on the hands and like your fortune changes every time this priest comes in because you get to these regular customers and you get to know them. And then there are some customers that just come in once and you never see them again, which is again like very retail. Like the frog who comes in and buys 1 beer every night.
Yeah.
Right?
Loved him, by the way.
Yeah. And that's where some of the really, like, I loved the writing in it. Like, this frog comes in, buys 1 beer. At one point, you go, hey, why do you only ever buy 1 beer? And like, it gets me out of the house. Got to get my hops in or my leaps in or whatever it was.
The game will, like, prompt you if you want to pry into the people's lives.
Yes.
You could just not if you didn't want to, but I always did, of course. But the fact that the game gives you the option, I could only imagine what the game would be like without prying. It's just people coming and buying and then you don't talk to them.
Yeah.
I was a nosy bitch. I wanted to know.
And did you like the other little mini games that kind of all crop up, like where you've got to stock the shelves or mop and all that kind of?
Yeah, I really did not realize how bad I was with my hand-eye coordination with the stocking shelves. I failed that so many times, and I'm like, I'm a 27-year-old man. How am I failing this game?
Yeah.
Like, did you have like a favorite mini game?
I like the shelf stocking. Like I became like super obsessed with like trying to get like the full 20 points.
The
each
20
day.
points. I think I got to like 8, and I was like, why?
You
got
gotta
to
be fast.
I know, that's the thing. I was like, why am I so bad at this game?
You gotta be
I thought I was a
so
gamer.
fast. But yeah, I like it. And those different games and mini games, they escalate over time. Even the little mini adventure game that you're playing on the Q Boy, like that escalates. You start getting weapons and you learn how to fight. You get the little turn-based battles, which I thought you would have enjoyed.
Loved it. I was like, Pokemon, give it to me.
So yeah, like they've managed to do, because you got to appreciate this was literally developed on Game Boy hardware, right? Like there's a particular, when we spoke to Knife Games about Small Town Nemo, there is a particular open source homebrew kit you can use to develop Game Boy games. But everything about this is within the constraints of a Game Boy.
And it's so beautiful as
Yeah.
well. Like, I love the look.
Yeah, like it's, and here's probably an interesting question for you though. Like, do you think you need to have been a Game Boy owner at some point to understand this game and to appreciate it?
I think there'll be some nuances that you may miss if you've never owned a Game Boy, like the starting up of the till and like some of the little mini games, etc. But I think the charm bleeds through regardless. I think you'd still really enjoy it. You just might not get some of the slightly less off the nose Game Boy references because they're littered throughout the whole game. Yeah,
I think that people who didn't play Game Boy would probably be able to get into this as well, like younger people, because there are games like this, simpler games like this being made now anyway, right? Like not everything is a big AAA title these days.
But I think that the Game Boy aesthetic lends to the game more. And you hit the nail on the head at the start of the review. It's so charming. The graphics are really charming. It's really one of the sweetest of things. Obviously, it's not too much of a spoiler because it happens in the first day. But one of the sweetest things that I love to do was just to stand outside and smoke with Sam. And just talk about her day and make sure she's all right. Because I just like got obsessed with her and I just wanted to be happy.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting sad.
Well, in our last episode, we spoke about visual novels and interactive stories, and this is very much a game, but it has that, like there is of a lot of queer developed games, that much more of a we're trying to tell a story here. And it's a sci-fi. I don't know if I'd call it a dystopia, but like it's I don't know how
the world's vaguely a dystopian world. There's like mutants and aliens, which are never mentioned, by the way. They just live there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'd call it like a sci-fi coming of age life. I don't know. It's really hard to put a pin in it, but it literally is. You just act as a retail worker.
But like the story unfolds at a nice pace through all these beautiful little interactive elements, and as I said before, the Game Boy color photos, the Game Boy camera photos add such a gorgeous little expressive element to it.
It's a very fingerprint part of the game. Like if I was to see that in like a slide, I'd be like, oh, I know exactly where that's from.
Yeah,
like it's very that. So.
Yeah. What about the music?
Oh, I love the music. The little 8-bit music.
Yeah.
Well, my thing is going to work every day. I was like, all I had to do was drive a car along the road, but I was like, I'm a bit of a sucker for 8-bit music.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that kind of music because some of my first game consoles were the Game Boy Color and the Game Boy Advance. I could see myself listening to the soundtrack in the background when I'm like reading or like doing work or something. It was very just like calm and nice. There was lots of quiet music as well, like in those scenes with Sam when you're out the back, just quiet music of just like dim, dim, dim. I was like, oh,
love that.
Love it. What about you? Did you like the music?
I did love the music. One note I think I made was that I found it really funny, the fact that things are escalating and going to shit, but there's still this cheerful music.
It was really funny. There's like a building blowing up in the background. It's like, dee, dee, dee.
I know. People coming in, it's like, oh my God, everyone's murdering all the children at the amusement park.
It was very funny. That was something about the game that I wasn't quite prepared for. It's not a comedy game, but there are quite comedic parts to it where like the writing is very dry. And then that really gets me. I love dry writing, and DeClerck can be quite, let's say, socially inept sometimes. And so it leads to it being kind of funny, and they kind of have to be a little bit like dry to kind of cut the tension. Like if the customer is like yelling or mad or something, it did make me giggle a couple times, which I don't know if that was intentional.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's interesting. So, I mean, you talked about the characters as well. Like, I think actually, let's touch on this, right? Because I think it's time.
I didn't make it gay.
That's not going to get old.
Do you think it will?
It's been old since we started.
Disagree.
No. So, I think let's go make it gay. Shall we? Hang on.
Make it gay.
There we go.
Did you guys get it the first time?
We haven't had a chance to do this for a while.
I know.
We talk about the queer representation in the game. The game was developed by a queer person, a non-binary person, and the game is littered with queer characters to the point where I believe, like, if you actually kind of look up the website, I think you can get all of their pronouns and all that kind of stuff. But I will say, like, what was your take on the queer representation in this game? How did it appear to you?
Well, I really appreciated. I mostly looked at it from the lens of the clerk because I really loved playing as the clerk, but they are non-binary.
Yeah.
And it was interesting, the relationship. Well, I don't want to spoil too much, but the relationship that develops between them and Sam. And I think they speak about interesting topics as well, because obviously the clerk doesn't have a name. They're just called the clerk. But their relationship builds from like a friendship to something a little bit more. And I found it really, really charming that they didn't make a big deal out of the fact that the clerk was non-binary. It was just part of the story.
Yeah.
I appreciate queer stories like that, where it's not like how terrible it is, I have to do this, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, no, I'm just a queer person. I'm just stocking shelves. So what about you? Did you like the queerness?
Oh, it's queer as so I don't bleep everything out. Just every now and then I remember the button there and I go,
He's drunk with power.
Drunk with power. Yeah, it stood out to me as I feel like everyone in this game is some form of queer, right? It's just a big pansexual universe.
That is so true.
it is, and that's a universe I want to live in, by the way.
Honestly, I know the world's falling apart behind them, but at least they've all got vague equality. I kind of like that.
There is that kind of happening. Yeah, I mean, I just don't think that necessarily that sexuality or gender or anything like that really kind of enters the discussion in the game.
Like I said, it's just
because
like
it's
a
just,
part of it.
It's there. It's just happening. It's not necessarily, it's not trying to make a statement, but in not trying to make a statement kind of makes a statement.
Yeah, because it's like we're just living our lives.
Yeah, and look, and I'm kind of drawing on the conversation I had with Enzi earlier in the year, a little bit on that too, which I might include some of the audio from that in this interview just for context. But yeah, like all the characters, there's a vague kind of queerness to them in some way or another, and there's a lot of them too. Like they're like, so looking on the website, and it just lists some of the main ones that you deal with a lot, like the clerk, Sam, who is the clerk's co-worker, Frogman, who buys his beer every night, the blind priest, the enforcer, and 40 other characters for you to meet. Each of those characters is a real person that Enzi went and took photos with.
So many people.
Yeah.
I wonder where they got the model for some of those really weird ones, like the ones that were stitched together and like the one that had the plague mask and everything that was like screaming. I was like,
oh, no. They had those like costumes and masks and all
really?
that.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah. So Enzi was telling me that like would go out for dinner with friends and just be, or at like a bar or something, having a drink and just like, all right, pull some poses. Yeah, like,
are you frustrated? Are you happy?
Let's take a couple of photos. And I just want to, for people who do not know the Game Boy camera, go and look it up. Like
it's a little rough nowadays.
Nowadays, it was a little rough then.
Oh well, I didn't have it back then. But
there were digital cameras out then, right? Which were taking proper good quality photos.
Yeah.
This was this little thing that came out, plugged into the top, had a little printer, and you make like little stickers, very
cute
images, much like you see in the game.
Yes, I really appreciated the color palette as well of all of those. It was very Game Boy, like the green and the purple and the orange. Like I don't know how to put my finger on it, but it was like, oh, that's like a Game Boy color.
Well, I mean, it was drawing on the colors that the Game Boy was capable of doing.
Exactly, yeah.
Literally made to run on a Game Boy.
Well, the reason I bring that up is because the game, when I was playing it, gave me like some nostalgia for a game that I'd never played. I was playing it, I was like, oh, it's like old times. We're back in the day. Everything's so easy now.
Yeah.
And then poor Sam. Love you, Sam.
Yeah. So anyway, look, it's a gem. I think we've got hidden gem material here.
Do not miss it.
I've spoken to Enzi. So Enzi's on our Discord, and Enzi has spoken perhaps since release, like not quite the traction that they might have liked, and so we are here to promote the shit out of it.
Well, we loved it, so
yeah,
I'm gonna sing about it till the cows come home.
Queer folk in particular, get out. Like you can get this game right now. Let me have a quick look. It is currently 50% off on Steam in Australia, and it is usually price parity, so it's $10.97.
What a steal!
Normally $21.95 in Australia, which I think Enzi told me it's around $14.99 in the US. So 50% off at the moment, just for the next couple of days. But I would pay the full price for this. In fact, I did. I think you've got to ask yourself whether you want to get the emulator version that you off the itch page or get the Steam page. I think it's cute to play it on an emulator. However, I will say I've had some glitches and some bugs on the emulator version, which is to be expected. I think that you can get patches and updates a little easier if you go for the Steam version. Have you had any kind of glitches?
I didn't have any issues.
Oh, really?
But to be fair, I'm use the emulator on my computer all the time, so I think mine's been run into the ground. She's a workhorse.
It's probably not the emulator. It's like the game itself, right? Like particularly when I'm playing some of the games on the Nintendo on Q-Boy, I would get little glitches and I would have to reload my save file.
Oh yeah. What do they say at the end of the day? Are you happy with the day, or what do they say?
Yeah, you're happy with your day? Yes, no. Do you want to do it again?
Do you want to do it again? And I'm like, I wish I could have that.
What an option I wish I had in real life. The choices I would make. So yeah, it's up to you really. Like if you buy, I think they do say, if you buy it off itch, you are probably putting a little bit more money into the developers' hands, into their hip pockets.
Their bulging hip pockets.
Into those bulging hip pockets. But at the same time, I think it's much of a muchness. I think you can still get updates off of itch for the ROM. You've just got to go and download them and patch them in, which is not that bad. Right. So
easy.
What would you prefer? Are you happy? Because I gave you the emulator version. So
I'm an emulator girl. I found that really easy. Because with the emulator, you can configure the key to however you want to do it.
Yeah, and it feels a little bit more like you're actually playing on a Game Boy because emulator is based off Game Boy hardware and all that kind of stuff.
Correct.
Super cute.
Super cute. Very cute game. Don't miss it.
Final thoughts for Gas Station Story?
Final thoughts. Incredible art direction. Fantastic characters. Great story. Hidden gem. Go and get it now.
Go and get it now.
I loved it. What about you, Davey? Final thoughts?
I'm gonna say the same. I think that you need to get out there and get amongst it. I think this is the exactly kind of. I mean, I'm a big supporter of all queer games and queer titles out there, but this is just one that has stolen my heart, and I think it helps that I got to have a really cool chat to the developer, who is just such a wonderful, genuine human being. And we live in a time right now where queer people, transgender people, we need to elevate them and uplift them and tell their stories and share their art and all that other good stuff,
and
right?
Financially support them.
And financially support 100%. You know what? And I know from talking to Enzi, don't really care if they make a bucket load of money from this, but either way, I will still bang the drum about this game for you, Enzi, because it's a hidden gem. I'm calling it's a hidden gem. Do I have a button for hidden gem? No, I don't think I do. I'll just turn into a small robot.
Hidden gem.
There's no sound effects on this thing. So
there was a sound effect. There's the bleep.
Oh yeah, that's not a sound effect. That's not going to go. This one's a hidden gem. This week in unnecessary censorship. Stand by Jimmy Kimmel, by the way.
Oh, rip, by the way.
Yeah,
but I echo what Davey said. Don't miss it. It's a very low effort game as well. You don't need to pull millions of hours into it. You can just play it at your leisure, and you'll get the story just as well. So it's not like it demands a ton of your time.
No, get out there. We'll include all the links in the episode description.
Description-y do.
Oh my God. So there's a lot of fun stuff coming up, by the way. So we're gonna leave our October Let's Yap until the end of October. But I've decided to shift things around a little bit because we're going to have our PAX coverage coming up in the middle of October, which is going to be very, very exciting.
Can't wait.
But I think it's time for next week for Bargain Bin Gamers to go to the movies.
Yes. What are we going to watch?
We are going to watch the original Street Fighter movie.
Ooh, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I've seen clips of it before, like out of context. I'm ready for it to be really bad.
Yeah. So stick around for us to just talk absolute crap about that for an hour. I'm so excited to experience this.
Because you've
movie.
seen it before, yeah?
When I was a kid. Yeah.
I've never seen it. So
virgin. We want to start doing this a little bit more regularly. We want to start watching old school video game movies, like good, bad, and ugly, mostly ugly.
We're looking at you, Mario Bros.
Yeah, Mario Bros, Double Dragon. There's a whole string of video game movies from the early 2000s. It was all made by the one studio, and they're all like garbage straight to DVD. There was ones made for like games like Blood Rain and all this kind of stuff. I can't remember what was the name of the studio, but I'll find out.
So bad. I'm so excited.
Terrible. So that's going to be a new series that we're going to be doing. We're going to be starting that next week, and so we'll catch you then. So until next time, I've been Davey.
And I've been Mitch.
And we've been the Bargain Bin Gamers.
Bargain Bin Gamers.
See you next week for the movies, Gales.
Bargain Bin Gamers at the movies. Couldn't help myself.
You
Sure couldn't.
Toodaloo.
Bye. You are so funny.
Why?
You're just so silly. You silly Billy.
If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you give it a big thumbs up on YouTube or follow the podcast wherever you get your podcast from and leave us a 5-star review. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Blue Sky and follow along on our live Twitch streams. You can also continue the conversation in our BQN podcast Discord by clicking the link in the episode description. Don't forget that the Bargain Bin Gamer is part of a larger network of podcasts called the BQN. You can support this and other BQN programs by becoming a patron over at patreon.com/BQN. We'd love to hear your feedback on the episode. Leave us a comment on YouTube or send us an email to bargainbingamer, GAYMER, @gmail.com. Until next time, au revoir.
Double T Media.